Yo, what's up guys, and here, welcome back to another tutorial. So we just finished Zambia in the last video. Again, I'm so sorry for the eagle fight, whatever the word is. So before we move on, I did tell you this in the video in the post, but I'm going to quickly do this. If you haven't done it, you can do it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm just going to replace this with dark gray because this will be in the black section of Tanzania, and I kind of want to see that because what's the point of doing it otherwise? And so anyway, yeah, let's go do Angola. Doing Angola will be the last country, minus the two small ones right there, actually. And then we finish the outline of the DRC, and then in the Rwanda-Burundi video, I will tell you how to do the DRC. So, before we actually get started, let's get the colors that we're going to need. We're going to need red, light gray, because half of Angola is black, and we're not going to do the black until we get the countries around it. So, we're going to use light gray as a substitute. Yellow, and also let's just have two different blocks for like reference or something. So before we actually get to the outline of Angola, do me a favor and come down to this massively long line and grab light gray actually, and on the third block go up, place 2, break the first 3 type of placing until you get 4 of them, okay? And then to the left of this you're going to place 3, break the first 2, you're going to place 3, break the first 2, you're going to grab yellow, and you're going to place it 2 blocks away from that last light gray and go up with it. And then to the left you're going to place 3, underneath the third one you're going to place a light gray, and then you're going to place until it overhangs by 2. So you're going to do it just like this as you see it on the screen. Remember, keep looking back at the screen, keep pausing, keep rewinding, all that to make sure that you're not missing anything. Now we're going to go up until the corner here. We're going to grab light gray again and to the left, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab green, or whatever, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab light gray, and do it literally one more time, place 3, break the first 2, now grab yellow, place it 2 blocks away, and then from here you're going to go up 2 more, 1, 2. So it should be 3 blocks tall, off the corner like this, okay? Now, from this border, or from the border of the colors, you're going to, just for the moment, on the third block, because we placed a line here, place, and then place like this. So you see how it's 2 block gaps, so it's a place 3, break the first 2 type of thing. You should see where this is going. Grab green or whatever. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. You're going to do this 2 more times in red, 1 more time in green or whatever. Place 3, break the first 2, 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 place 3, break the first 2. Now last time with red, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, and place 3, break the first 2. Alright, so it should be a red and green line. It's almost Christmas, so, you know, very, very festive, and this flag has a star on it, so, we're going to go to the last red block here. We're going to place 3, break the first 2 in yellow, and we're going to go up 1, and we're going to go to the left 3 more times on the bottom block, 1, 2, 3, so it should be 4 long in total. That is that part done. Now, that is, basically it for these beginning placement blocks. We're going to actually go up to this point over here from the Republic of the Congo video. This is part of Angola, and we're going to just really quickly get to a specific point here. So find this one that we placed in that video. Just grab cyan for a moment because, you know, place 3, break the first 2 to the right of this thing. Grab black and place on the right of this, place 3, break the first 2, so we'll come back to that. Now, underneath this one, go diagonal and place a line of 5, which should be 2 on each side of this cyan. Then, starting on the second block, you're going to go 5 over, so it should be a chunky Z, you know what I mean, like this. Now, this one that we placed over here, go to the right one, down 1, right 1, that's water that we just circled. Now, on the bottom of this little mini Z, go up one diagonally and to the right one on connected to it. And that's going to be it for now. There's more, but I just had to get that ready. So let's now go down to this corner of Zambia over here. You find this? You should have. We're going to go down to the left with a long 3. Remember, if every time I say something, look at the screen and watch how I do it, okay? Because I have misspeak so much in the last few videos. Go up with a long 2. Go up with a R shape, with the bottom of the R in line with the long 2. Go down to the left with a 1. Go down to the left with a S, so 2 long 2s connected to each other in the middle. Go up with a long 2, then up with a 1, and down with a long 2. Okay? That's what it should look like right now. Now go up with a long 2. There we go. Now go down with a tall 3, 1, 2, 3, and go to the left 2 more times on it. So it should be a backwards L, big one. Now you're going to go up to the left with a long 2. Okay. And then on the second block, you're going to go up 3 more times, so it should be 4 tall. And now we're going to go up to the right. Actually, take your green, or actually take red. On top of this, place 3, break the first 2, go to the left 1 on that red. Okay, and then place 2, break the first one on the original red. And now grab your black and place a line of black behind it until it overhangs by 2. Same stuff we've always been doing. Now with this, you're going to grab green. On the left of this connected red here, place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. You're going to do this 3 more times with red. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Now we're going to grab yellow. And we're going to place 3, break the first 2. Okay, and on the left of this yellow, we're going to place 1 more. And then we're going to go up on that same very block with a 4 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it should be 4 blocks above, but 5 blocks tall. Alright? Now, before we continue with this border, we're going to connect up this point, that point, that point, and that point. Just to make sure we're doing it right. Actually, we're not going to do this one yet. That's the blade, so we're gonna go up here to the gear. So now from this, okay, you see this one right here. You're going to go up to the right with a tall 2. You're going to go up with a 1 to the right, and from this 1 you're going to connect it the corner. Okay, then you're going to go up to the left with 2 1s, 1, 2, like this. Okay, and then you're going to go in 1 more. Now you might be wondering why I didn't mention this. Well, because I didn't want to. Then you're going to go up to the right with a tall 3, and then a tall 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then a 1, and then, yep, it connects diagonally. That means we at least did this part right. Now let's see if we can connect up these 2 parts, and then maybe I will actually connect the blade to make sure. So from this little block right here, you're going to go up to the right with 3 blocks, tall 3. You're going to grab red, place it on the 3rd block, and place one above it connected. And then you're going to place the rest of the yellow until it overhangs by 2, so it should be 6 long. Now you're going to go up to the left with a long 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you should go up with a long 2, tall 2. Tall 2. You're going to grab red. On top of this 2, you're going to place 3, break the first 2, place 2, break the first 1. You're going to grab your yellow again and place a line of yellow until it overhangs by 2. So it should look like this. Okay, now we're very close, but we're going to go away from it with a 1. Alright? And then above this 1, it should be able to connect with a long 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Thankfully, we have done that right. So I'm going to hover over this. Alright. And now we will, in fact, try to connect this blade. It's just going to take a while. But it's better to do it now. So anyway, this block right here, you're going to go to the right with a tall 2. And then you're going to go to the left with a tall 2. Okay, so you go out before going back in. Now you're going to do 2 ones to the left. 1 and 2. Now you're going to do a long 2. 1, 2. Then you're going to do another 2 ones. 1, 2. Oh my god. 2. You're going to grab your black real quick. And in line with this first set of 2 ones, you're going to then place black diagonal to that first long 2. Alright? And now 2 blocks away from this one, you're going to start placing black. And then make it a long 2 of black. So it should be diagonal to this one right here. Okay? So it should look like this so far. You might be wondering why we're placing black in here. Well, that's for me to know and you to find out, buddy. Now, go back to the yellow. And you're going to do a long 2, perfectly parallel, and, you know, just above that black, basically. You're going to do 2 more ones. Oh, you're going to grab your black again. And in line with this long 2, you're going to place 2 black, break the first one, and place another black. So it should look like this. Now back to yellow. You're going to place another long 2. You're going to place a 1 and then another 2. Alright. So it should look like this so far. Now we're getting closer, but you're going to grab black. You're going to place 2 black to the left of this long 2. You're going to go down 2 more blocks on the last black. You're going to go to the left and down. Like this. Now you're going to grab yellow. And on top of these 2, you're going to grab and place a long 2. And in fact, it's easier for me to count if we do this. So grab your black. To the left of that long 2, you're going to place a black. You're going to go up to the left diagonally with a black. You're going to then place a long 2. You're then going to go up 3 more ones. So 1, 2, 3. You're then going to go up with another long 2. You're going to then go up with another 2 ones. 1, 2. You're going to go up with another long 2. Okay. And that's going to be it that we're going to place for that. So you should be able to see 2 and then 2, 3 and then 2, 2 and then 2. So now grab your black again. Above this long 2, actually grab yellow. Place a yellow above the first black on the right. Okay. Place another black on top of that yellow. Alright. And then place another black on top of that black. Now follow after me. Left, up, left, up, left, up. So there should be 4 peaks right here and 4 peaks here. Okay? Now grab your yellow. Underneath this black, you're going to place 2 yellow, and then you're going to place 2 yellow under the next one and 2 yellow under the next one. Okay? And now you're going to place yellow to the right until you overhang this black by 1. In which case, you will then go down, right, down, right, down, right, right, down, right, down, right, down, right, down, right, right, down, right, down, right. Alright? I know that sounds confusing. Trust me, it isn't. And then we're going to fix this a little bit by finding this first long 2 and placing another yellow right there. Okay? And everything else after that is the same, but you just add another block right there and make it thicker for whatever reason. And in fact, actually, let's even make this one thicker as well. Alright, there we go. Now you're going to grab yellow again. And to the right of this black right here, you're going to place 2 yellow. You're going to go down by 2 ones. You're then going to go up by 2 ones. You're then going to go to the left by 2 ones. Alright, let me just hover over that. It should look like this. You're going to go in more with another 1. Okay, and then you're going to go out by 3 ones. 1, 2, and 3. On the top of the last one, you're going to place another block, so it makes it a long 2, tall 2, sorry. Then you're going to go in with 2 more ones. 1 and 2, sorry, out. You're going to the border here. Yeah, there's a joke in there, I'm not going to say it though. You're then going to go up with a long 2. You're going to go down with a long 3. and then you're going to go up with a 1, and that should connect you up. Okay, so I will hover over all of this just so you can copy it. Just pause whenever you need to, and that should be good enough for you. Don't worry, we'll do this more throughout the thing. I have almost every single poke out of the gear and the flag marked. Almost every single one. So we're going to find this line of whatever the hell here. I don't know the number because I'm not counting. Okay. This is in. Okay, look at the screen. This is in. This is out for a moment. So you're going to go in with a tall 3, then a 2 tall 2s, and oh my god, thank you. And then a 1, a tall 2, and then a tall 3. Alright, so let me just hover over that because that was quick. 3, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. I can count. Now you're going to go in again with another 1 here, but you're going to place a red on the side of that. You're then going to, on top of this red, place 2 red, break the first 1, connect to that, and then place a line until it overhangs it by 2. Okay? Now you might be wondering, why did we do it like this? Why did we make an exclamation mark? There we go. Grab green, go to the left of this bottom one, place 3, actually wait, place another red coming out of that, and then place 3, break the first 2, okay? So it should look like that before you place 3, break the first 2. And now place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, make sure you have 3 green. Now you're going to do this one more time with red, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Alright, now you're going to grab yellow, and you're going to place 3, break the first 2. Okay? Then you're going to go up on that. Now let's go make sure that we did it right. So go back up to this long 5 here, tall 5. You're going to go in with a tall 3, 1, 2, 3. You're going to go in with a long 2. Then you're going to go down with a long 3, 2, 3. Then you're going to go in with 3 tall 2s. So 1, 2, 3. You're going to go in with 2 1s. Then you're going to go out with 2 1s. I have no clue what the hell I did. Okay, guys, welcome back. I have no clue what the hell I did wrong. I just broke all of those blocks and placed them again, and somehow it was right. I don't know. I'll catch it in the editing. Anyway, so let me hover over this. Just copy what I did, okay? Just look at this, and somehow it magically matches up. I don't know what changed. I literally don't know what I did differently that time. Hey guys, just popping in to say I know what I did wrong. The block as the period for the exclamation mark is the correct start point. I just added another useless block coming out of it because I looked at the wrong part of the reference image at the time. If you're wondering, that's what I did wrong. I couldn't explain to you. Anyway, so that's correct. That is fully correct. So now let's get back to the border. Alright, so you're going to go here again to this line. You're going to grab red, place 3, break the first 2, and then connect on top of that. And now you're going to place a line of 6. I'm sorry for the keyword sounds, guys. Place a line of 6, so it should overhang by 2. You're going to then grab red and do the exact same thing, because it's another line of 6 coming up. So there we go, overhang by 2. So it should be that line twice. Okay. Now you're going to go in with a tall 3. You're going to go in with another tall 3. On the third block, place a red coming out. Then place 2, break the first 1, and place a line until you overhang by 2. Okay, like this. You're then going to grab red. On top of this black, place 3, break the first 2. You're going to then go behind this black and place a line until it overhangs by 2. Okay? But then you're going to place another one on top of it. Now you're wondering, that's not symmetrical. Now it is. Because you're going to go to the left on the top block. You're then going to grab your red. Oh, sorry. And you're going to go to the left. This is 5 times already. Place 3, break the first 2, 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 place 3, break the first 2. Now you're going to grab your black. And you're going to place a line until you overhang it by 2. Okay? And then on the last block, you're going to go up 2 times. You're going to grab your yellow here. And in line with this red block right here, you're going to place until you go over that with yellow. So it should look like this. You're going to grab cyan, and you're going to place the cyan to the right of that. Okay? You're now going to go back up to this line of 3. You're going to go out with a tall 3. To the left 1 on it. You're going to grab red, place it diagonally to that left, and then place a line until you overhang by 2. Okay? Now grab yellow. To the left of this black, place 2 yellow, and then place a red to the right of that. Left of that. Now anyway, underneath that, you're going to place 3. So underneath this red, you're going to place a red underneath that black. You're going to go to the left, place 3, break the first 2. I lied, you're going to move that one to the right, so it should be a 1 block gap. And then you're going to place 2, break the first one. And then you're going to place this line until it overhangs by 2. So it should look like this. Alright? I'll quickly hover over all this. It isn't one of my tutorials if I didn't mess up once. That's crazy. I don't know what I changed. And there we go. We're at the border here. I'll quickly hover over this gear as well if you need it. Remember, that's 5 blocks tall. 4 long, 4 tall. And okay, you're going to go back up to this long line. I overshot it because I looked away. You're going to go down with a long 2. You're going to grab your red. Under the first block you place, you're going to place 3, break the first 2, and then you're going to place another one connecting it, and then you're going to place a line until you overhang by 2, so it should look like this, okay? Then you're going to grab yellow, and the 2 blocks underneath those reds, you're going to place a yellow. You're going to place a red above it and to the left of the first yellow, okay? Alright, so now underneath that yellow, you're going to place a 1 diagonal. You're going to grab red. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Okay, now you're going to place a line behind that until you overhang it by 2. You're going to go to the left 1, go to the left again, place a red, and then place a line until you overhang it by 2. It should be a 5 block long, so this looks like this. Alright. Now you're going to go up with a long 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to grab yellow and place 2 yellow above that line. Okay, then we're just gonna do this because it's small. You're gonna go up with a long 2 to the right off this yellow. You're gonna go up with 2 1s, 1 and 2. You're gonna go up with a long 2. You're going to go up with 2 1s, 1 and 2. So it should look like this. And you know what? You fill that block in with yellow as well. This will be yellow. Don't fill it in though. Now, speaking of yellow, go to the left of this yellow with a long 3. And place red to the left of the top yellow there. You're then going to go down with a long 4. Bang. Now you're going to grab red. On the second block right here to the right, Arabic style, place 2, break the first one, and place another one connecting to it. Grab yellow. Go down 2, break the first one, and go to the right off that yellow block. Okay? Now we're going to connect this up to make sure that we did it right. And see if I magically mess up and then magically fix it. I don't even know how I did that still. You're going to go up to this long 2, tall 2 with another long 2. Tall 2, tall. Dang it. Then you're going to go up with 4 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go down with 3 1s. 1, 2, 3. You're going to go up with 2 more 1s. 1, 2. You're going to go up with a long 2. You're going to go up with 4 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go to the right with a tall 2. You're going to go to the right with a 1. Then you're going to go to the left with a 1. Then you're going to go to the left with 2 long 2s, and it should connect up with the other blocks. Bang. So let me just hover over this real quick. The gear first is what it should look like. And let me just hover over all of this part of the border. Alright. So now the gear, we've got a significant chunk of it done that we don't have to do later anymore. Now you're going to go to this long 4, you're going to go down with a long 2. You're going to go down with a long 3, but on the third block, you're going to place a red to the left of this, place 2, break the first one, connect onto it, and then place 2, break the first one. Now on the left side of this connect, place 2, break the first one, downwards. and then place this black line until it overhangs by 2, and then go up on it 2 more times, so it should be 3 blocks tall. I'll hover over that in a moment. I'll go back to this block right here that we placed, go down 2 with yellow, break the first one, and go to the right on this block 3 more times, so it's a long 4. You're going to go down with a long 3, you're going to go down with a 1, and then you should be able to go up with a 1 and then a tall 2. So 1 and then a tall 2. There we go. So this is what you should have right now. So we got a significant chunk of this gear done. Now we're going to try to connect this top part. So off this tall 3, you're going to go to the left with a tall 2, then a tall 3, then a 3 tall 2s, 1, 2, 3, then, oh, I didn't prepare them, and then a tall 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place a red to make sure it is actually 5, then a tall 2, then a tall 3. Now on top of this 3, place a red, and then place a yellow on top of that, and place a yellow to the left of that yellow. Okay, now from this tall 3, you're going to place a tall 5, again place a red to make sure it's 5, and then you're going to go up with a tall 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a tall 1, or sorry, just literally a 1, I don't know what I'm on about. To the left of this one, place a cyan, and to the left of that, place a yellow, and you can place a yellow line from the top of this 5 upwards to that. That's fine. So I'm going to hover over this real quick before we do the hard part. Okay, there we go. Now, you're going to go up from this one with a tall 2, but you're going to go to the left on that 2. Now you're going to grab red here. And from this little block right here, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. You're going to grab green or something. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. You're going to grab red. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Oh, and then grab green, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Grab red and do it one more time, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Now, that should be 2 blocks away from that previous black, and you're going to go all the way to this line, and you're going to place a line until it's over the gap in between the black blocks here. Bang. So that right there will be water, and that is the top of the Angola DRC border. So let me just hover over everything that we did on this side, and you should be fine here. Alright. Honestly, I think that's all you need to see. So, now we got that really long part. Don't worry, there's one more, and I think it's longer than that. So, you know, let's go steamroll through that. Alright, so we're going to go down to the bottom of this flag of Zambia. You're going to find this 5. Okay, it should be 5 here. You should find this. You're going to go down to the left with a long 4, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to go down with a long 5, so place like a light gray in the middle to make sure it's 5. You're going to do that exact same thing again, so it should be 5 again. Okay. Then you should go down with a long 4. You're going to grab white. On the 4th block, place a white. Every other block, place a red. Okay. Now you're going to go down with another long 4. Alright. Then you're going to grab light gray, just make this easy on yourself, place 3, break the first 2, and then place a line of 5 underneath that. Now, do me a favor, grab normal blue, to the left of this 5, place a blue, underneath that, place a white, alright? And now above this blue, you're going to place a line of 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place a light gray to make sure it's 5. And now grab light gray to the left of this 5, place 3, break the first 2, connect to it, and then place a line of 6 underneath that. Oh my gosh, thank you. So let me just hover over this real quick. We're not at the hard part yet, but, you know, these are long lines and it's hard to count sometimes. We're going to go up with a long 4. Now we're going to go up with a long 3. Grab gray, place it on the 3rd block. To the left, place 3. break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Now place a line of black until it overhangs by 2. Alright, so now you're going to go up again with a long 3, place a light gray on top of the third, place one connected to it, and then place the last 3 blocks, so it should be a line of 6. And now you're going to go up with a 1. Yeah, that's easy compared to everything else. Then you're going to go up with a tall 2. Then you're going to go up with 2 1s. So let me hover over this. Alright, we're even going to hover over the rest of this too. Okay, so now we got the even longer line. So we're going to go up with a long 3. Put light gray here on the third block. To the left, place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Grab green. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first... Oh my god. Break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Grab light gray. Place 3, break the first... Oh my gosh. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Before we move on top of this light gray, place 2, break the first one, connect, place 2, break the first one. Yeah, place 2, break the first one, okay. So it should look like that, okay? In the upwards direction. We'll get to the rest of that in a moment. So grab your green again. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 2, break the first one, place one connected to it. Place 3, place 2, break the first one. Why is my game freezing? There we go. Let me just hover over this because my game froze and it was confusing for you if you're watching. So then just, there we go. Should look like this. Now you're going to grab light gray again. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. You're going to grab green again. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Alright, and now should be one more time with gray. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. And place 3, break the first 2. So it should be, if I hover over this, this should be correct. Should be 4 grays and 3 greens. And they should be in this exact pattern. Now you should be able to place a black line until you overhang by 2. Oh, there we go. Now before we continue with this line, we do have something very important to do. We're going to grab green. We're going to find this gray that we went up with. And we're going to place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab gray again. You're going to place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, you're going to grab green. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, and now one more time with gray. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. To the left and right, place 2 and break the first one. Okay, so it should look like this. Let's just get it all in a shot here. So it should be 3 gray and 2 green. Now, grab yellow, and on top of this light gray that we placed, we're going to place a yellow line that overhangs each side by 2. Like this. On the right side here, go up 3 more times, so it should be a tall 4. You're going to grab light gray, and to the right of this, place 3, break the first 2, and now on top of this, place a yellow line until it overhangs by 2. It should be a line of 5. Alright. You're going to go up with a long 4. You're going to go down with a long 3, tall, 3, tall. You're going to go down with a long 3 this time. You're going to go up with another long 3. You're going to go up with another one. Okay, but on the second block, you're going to go up and make it a long 4 above that. Okay, so that should be a 4 block gap above this. And then you're going to go in 2 times with yellow. So that's why it should look like 4. And it should look like this so far. Okay, you're going to go to the left 1 more on... There we go. You're going to grab black on the one that you went up with. Place a black on top of it. To the left, place a long 2 diagonally there, and then place a mini L. So it should look like this. I'm going to hover over it really quickly. Alright. Now we just gotta figure out how to connect these up. So guys, I messed up here. You didn't see it because I cut it out of the video, but just copy this pattern real quick. Alright. So you should see 4 2s and 3 1s. Now do another 1 down, okay? And then do 2 long 2s. Okay, and then do another 1, and then do another 2 long 2s. And you should connect up with the bottom of the black. There we go. I miscounted. You wouldn't know that though, because I cut it out of the video. Now we're gonna quickly connect the bottom of this. So actually go to the bottom here for a moment. Go up with a tall 2. Go up with 2 1s. Go up with a long 2. Go up with another 1. Come up here because I lost count, so I'm going to do it easier here. Place 1 underneath the black. You're going to go down with another 1 to the right here. You're going to go down with a long 2. You're going to go down with 2 1s. And a long 2. And there we go. So I'm going to hover over this. You will fill this all in with yellow, just not yet. And there we go. So a lot of the gear is done, which is nice. We don't have to do all that later. We just still got to finish it, though. Anyway, go back down to this really long line. You're going to go up, with a long 2, and then a 1, and then another long 2, and then 2 1s, and then another long 2. Alright, and then you're going to go up with a long 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll quickly hover over this. Okay. You're going to go down with a long 2, a 1, and then a long 2, like that. You're going to go down with another long 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go up with a long 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a gray to make sure it's 5. You're going to go down with a long 4, 2, 3, 4. Now here's what's special before, actually, let's just do that so you should be able to copy that. Here's what's special about this long 4. You're going to go up and down on the 4th block. Okay, so it should be 3 blocks from black to black. You're going to grab a light gray. You're going to go up 2 here, break the first one. And then you're going to place this black line until it overhangs it by 2. Okay. Then you're going to grab dark blue. And in the same line, you're going to place 3, break the first 2. Place 2, break the first one. Place 2, break the first one. Then you're going to place black until it overhangs by 2. So it should look like this. Now, on top of this black line, you're going to place 3, break the first 2. You're going to go up another 2 on that black. And then to the left, you're going to place a black. And then you're going to go up another 3. So it should look like this. Now you might be wondering, why is this disconnected, right? Well, just give me a moment. You're going to grab gray. And in line with this bottom black, you're going to place 2 gray, break the first one. Okay. Then you're going to go up. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 2, break the first one. Connect. Place 2, break the first one. Place 3, break the first 2. Now you're going to place a black line diagonal to this that overhangs each side by 2. So it should look like this. And in fact, by the way, this black line is 1 too tall. It should be that, like that. There we go. So it should be perfectly in the middle of this gap right here. Anyway, we're going to go to the left, place a long, tall 2. We're going to, by the way, now the terms are in, out, okay? So we're going to go in with 3 1s, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go in with a tall 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a gray to make sure it's 5. We're going to go in with 2 tall 4s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go in with a tall 3 on, okay, and then we're going to go in with another tall 3 on the 3rd block. Place 1, place a light gray, place 2, break the first one, and then place a line until it overhangs by 2. I keep messing up my words, I'm so sorry, guys. Now, you're going to go in again with another tall 4, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go in with a tall 3, and now you're going to grab your green in the middle of this, place 2, break the first one. Then you're going to grab light gray, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. You're going to do this one more time with green and then one more time with light gray. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. You're going to do it again, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Alright, so it should look like that. We're now going to grab our yellow. To the right of this, you're going to place 3, break the first 2. Okay? You're going to go down with a long 2. You're going to go down with 2 1s. You're going to go down with a tall 3. Sorry. You're going to go down with a tall 2 to the left now. You're going to place another one connected to that, so it should look like an L. You're going to go down with 2 long 2s. 1 and 2. And you're going to go down with another one, so I don't know why I didn't count that. You're going to go up with a tall 2. You're going to go up with 2 1s, 1 and 2. You're going to go down with a long 3. You're going to go down with a long 4. 2, 3, 4. And now diagonally here, you should be able to place something like 5 blocks down, and it should equal up. So let's just place a light gray to make sure it is 5 blocks. And that means you did it right. So this is what this part should look like. Alright. Looking over this looks pretty sick, huh? So now we have the tiniest part, and by tiniest part I mean a very long part. We have a very long part of the flag to do just to finish the border alone. So let's try to get that done, yeah. You're going to go back to this tall 3. You're going to go up with a tall 4, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go up with 3 1s, 1, 2, 3. You're going to place a tall 2, and then then just a normal one, sorry. And then you're going to do another tall 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to do another tall 2. And then you're going to do a long 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to do a long 2. Then you're going to do 4 tall 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to do a tall 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to grab light gray at the bottom of this long 4. This is how we tell if we did it right. We're going to break most of this anyway, but just place in line. We're going to run into a yellow line here in a moment. But just keep placing, keep doing it. Okay, we run into that yellow line. That really doesn't matter, just keep placing. And, okay, I can already see that we have done this right because we're underneath that red line, which is good. Now, on the left side, so this is the right side of the flag, obviously, break literally basically almost all of this light gray line. So I already know that we did the red right, so I'm just going to just place a mini red line above that. So we have thankfully got this perfect so far, with only a slight hiccup in a few places. Back to this 4. You're going to go up with a tall 3. You're going to place red on the 3rd block, because you know why. Place 3, break the first 2. Place 2, break the first 1. Place 3, break the first 2. And now place the black line until it overhangs by 2. So it should look like this. I'm going to quickly hover over this part of the border. Just make sure you copy it. And if you have any questions, well, rewind the video. And if the rewind doesn't answer your question, then you should ask in the comment section. Anyway, so now back up to this line. You're going to go to the left out with a tall 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to go out with 2 tall 2s. 1 and 2. You're going to go out with a 1. You're going to go out with another tall 2. To the right here, you're going to place 2 red and a black. So that's a lake, mini lake or something. Now you're going to go out again with a tall 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go out with 2 tall 2s. 1, 2. On top of this second 2, you're going to place 3 red, break the first 2, connect to that red. Now place a line of 6 behind that. Then you're going to go out with another tall 2. Then you're going to go out with a tall 5. So place a red in the middle to make sure it's 5. But on the 5th block, go in 1. up one, in one, up one, in one. So it should look like this. I'm going to quickly hover over this part of the flag until we get to that long line again. Okay. Now place a red right here and place 3, break the first 2, grab black, place 3, break the first 2, grab red, place 2, break the first one, grab black, place 2, break the first one, and connect 2 more blocks off it, so it should be a long 3. We'll come back to this in a moment. Let's just finish up the border, because, you know, might as well, right? Now we're going to go up with a 1, in. We're going to go in with a tall 3, place a red on the 3rd block, place 1 connected to it, and finish the line until it's a line of 6. We're going to go out with a tall 3. We're going to go out with 3 tall 2s, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to go out with 2 tall 3s, so 1, 2. And we're going to go out with a tall 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a red to make sure it's 5. Okay, and then we're going to go out with 2 tall 2s, 1, 2. We're going to go out with 3 1s, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go out with another tall 2. We're going to go out with a tall 3. We're going to go out with a 1. We're going to go out with a tall 2. And to the right here, because it doesn't look like it connects, don't worry, place 2 blocks to connect it diagonally. And that means, sorry, we have done this correct. I will hover over this until we get to that part here. So now that I know we did the border correct, we just have to do everything on the inside. So come to this line of black, grab red. On the 3rd block, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Grab black to the right here, place 2, break the first one. Oh my god. Thank you. Anyway, to the right of this, place 3 red, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab like green or something, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab red, place 3, break the first 2, now going down, place 3, break the first 2, now going to the right, place 3, break the first 2, grab black, and place it underneath the last red, and place a 5, so it should overhang both sides by 1, and go down diagonally on the left by 1, so it should look like this. I'll just hover over it really quick. Alright. Now, how in the world did this get stuck here? Whatever. Back to this line of black. Go on the last block here, down with 2 red, to the right 1, break the first 2 red. Okay, now down, place 3, break the first 2. Grab yellow, to the right, place 3, break the first 2, and this is the star. Happy almost Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Alright, go to the right one more on this yellow, place red diagonally up here, and then to the right, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab yellow, place 3, break the first 2, go up 1 on that yellow, then you're going to go in with a tall 3, you're going to go in with another tall 3, and then you're going to go in with one more tall 3. And you're going to grab red, and on top of this yellow, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab your yellow, and on the right of this block, place a yellow, go place another one, don't know how that happened, and now it should be a tall 4 that connects this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So we have done it right, thankfully. So I'll just quickly hover over this part. Alright. Now, let's finish the star, and then we can get to finishing the gear and the machete. So you're now going to mirror this exact thing to the right side here. Okay, you're just going to mirror it, every single bit of it, including place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab yellow, and place on the diagonal line of 2. Okay, so it should look like this so far. Now, before we even do the lines there, go to the left side of this, go down on that yellow, then do a long 2 to the right, do 2 1s, then a long 2, then a tall 4, 1 2 3 4, then another tall 4 to the left here, 1 2 3 4, then a tall 3, 1 2 3, then a diagonal 1. Now on this 3, go to the right on the bottom, then go up with 2 1s, then with a long 2, then another 1. How in the world does that even happen? Then a long 3. Oh my god, just do it correctly. Thank you. And now just mirror it. Okay, just mirror everything over to this side. And including the up here. So it should be a 4 here, a 4 here, and then a long 2, and then 2 1s, a long 2, and then a 1. Okay. So it should be perfectly mirrored on both sides. Sorry if I'm rushing, by the way. But again, either like slow down the video, pause, rewind, whatever, and ask questions in the comments if you can't find the answer. Now connect these 2 yellow lines at the top. Alright, and now that will all be yellow, don't fill it in yet. Now let's do the final little bit here, which is not going to be really fun, really. It's really not. But before we do that, find this point of the yellow star. Now with the red, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. With green, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Now to the left, place 3, break the first 2. To the right, place 3, break the first 2. Okay, so it should look like that. To the left, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2 in red. Okay, and then you're going to grab yellow, and then place 3, break the first 2. Alright, and now you're going to... Oh, I forgot that I was supposed to do this. Okay, before we do that, break this red line for a moment. Now, from the border, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab green, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, and one more time with red, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, grab your yellow, place 3, break the first 2, okay? Now you're going to go down 1, but then you're going to go up 2 more, so 1, 2. So in total that should be 4. Now you're going to go in with a tall 2, you're going to go in with a tall 3. Attached to this tall 3, you're going to place 2 down like this. Then you're going to go down with a tall 2. You're going to go down with 1s until you connect with the previous one. So it should be 2. And that is the tip of the blade of the machete. So now we know where our red line is. Our red line is these blocks. So we know for sure where it is. We already knew that, but whatever. Now really quickly, we're going to do from this point to that point and go up. So find this zigzag of black that we did before. On top of it, place a yellow. Okay, and to the left, place a yellow. Sorry, place up as well. So it should be a backwards L. Now the painstaking part. Go to the top and right, 5 1s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go up with a tall 2. Go up with a 1, another tall 2. Actually, before we continue, find this again. Now you're going to do red, green, red. So place 3, break the first 2. Oh my god. Place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. With green, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, and finally with red, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2, place 3, break the first 2. Now, to the right of this red, place 2 yellow, break the first one, grab your red again, go diagonal to that last red, go up 1 more, break the first one. Connect onto that red though, and now place a yellow line until it overhangs by 2, so it should be a line of 6, okay? I'll quickly hover over all this, give me a moment. Okay, so from the start and then all that. Okay, so you should be able to copy that. Now we're going to finish this line. So from this line of 6, you're going to go down to the left with a tall 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to go down with a tall 2. Then you're going to go down with a tall 3. Then you're going to go down with a 2, 1, and 2. So tall 2, a 1, and that's the tall 2 that I was referring to. So let me just hover over this part. Just copy it how you see it. Pause if you need to. Alright, so that's the bottom part of this gear that connects to the machete. We're now going to go up here. Okay, so grab your red on top of this yellow. You're going to place 3, break the first 2, connect. Okay, and then you're going to place a line of yellow diagonally and overhang it by 2 on both sides. So it should look like that. You're going to do the same thing going inwards here. So place 3, place red, and then connect and overhang by 2. So it should be 3 lines of 6, which I don't like very much, but whatever. Then to the right, to the left, sorry. A tall 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. A tall 3, 1, 2, 3. 2 tall 2s, 1, 2. A 1, a tall 2, a 1, a tall 2. 7 1s, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. A long 2. A 1, 3 long 2s, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 long 3s, and that should connect us. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So I'm gonna hover over from the top until we get to the middle. Just pause if you ever need it. Alright. And thankfully, the top part of the gear is done. When this is all done, you'll fill that in with red, or sorry, not red, yellow. I said red because I was looking at the red. So remember, that will be yellow, this will be yellow, that bottom part will be yellow, but we got to finish the rest of this. So let's find this line of black. On the bottom of it, you're going to place 3 yellow. Okay, you're going to go down with a long 2. You're going to go grab gray. To the left of this, place 3, break the first 2, now place a line of 5 yellow underneath that. You're going to grab your gray again, place 3, break the first 2, place 2, break the first 1, connect, place 2, break the first 1. Okay, and then you're going to place a line of yellow until it overhangs both sides by 2. Okay, then you're going to go up with a long 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place a gray to make sure it's 5. You're going to do 2 long 3s, so, oh my god. 1, 2. Then you're going to do 3 long 2s. 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to go a 1, a long 2, and then a 1. So 1, a long 2, and then a 1. And you're going to go down with 2 1s. 1, 2. Then you're going to go down with a tall 2. There we go. And now, let me just hover over this part. Alright, so you should be connected up now. Before we move on, you're going to grab light gray. You will find the first long 3 here. On the first block, place 3, break the first 2. Place 3, break the first 2. Grab your black, actually, grab dark gray. Where's dark gray? Alright, grab dark gray. So place 3, break the first 2. The reason we're grabbing dark gray here is because this is like water or something. And we're going to place 1 on each side here, so it should be 3. And because this is water and it's in the black portion of the flag, I want to see it, because why not? Place 2 upwards in the middle. On the right side of this, go up diagonally 1 at the bottom. And do the same on the other side, but on the other side you're also going to go up with a tall 2, so this is what it should look like. Kind of looks like a panda snout, or a dog snout if you look hard enough at it. So now we have done all of the gear, we just have to do the machete. Joy! So we're going to go to the top of the machete and work down. Find this long 4 that we did, and in fact also to the left here, just place a line of gray underneath all these reference blocks. There we go. Now, anyway, back to the tall 4 here. You're going to go down with a long 3. You're going to go to the right with a long 3. You're going to go to the right with a tall 2. You're going to go down 3 ones. 1, 2, 3. I lied, it's 4. Then you're going to go down with a long 2, a 1, and then another long 2. I'll hover over this, don't worry. And in fact, because I kind of lost count, we're going to work from the bottom up now. So go back up to this black. You're going to place a yellow on top of the black and to the left. So now you're going to do 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 4 times. So you should have 4 2s here. So ready? This should be a 2, and then a 1, a long 2, a 1, a long 2, a 1, and then a long 2, and a 1. So there should be 4 long 2s and 4 1s. And then you're going to do 2 long 2s. 1, 2. And now you're going to just do one more block. Oh, would you look at that? I was right. I'm so happy. Now, really quickly, before we do the rest of the yellow, there's still more black to do. You're going to find this long 2 that we left off at. So it should overhang the bottom of that by 1. You're going to go up with 2 blacks diagonally. So now you should be perfectly in line with the end of it. Now you're going to do a long 2. And you're going to, you should be past it now. You should now go up with 2 1s. A long 2. 3 1s. 1, 2, 3. You're going to go up with a long 2, 2 1s, 3 times. 1, so a long 2, 2 1s, a long 2, 2 1s, a long 2, and then 2 1s. Okay, so that should be 3 more of them. Now, because I kind of lost count, we're going to go back up here. So in line with the reference blocks, you're going to go down with 4 more 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is with yellow, by the way. You're going to do a long 2. Now you're going to take black. On the side of this, on the left side, you're going to place 2 black, break the first one. So that should be 1, 2 blocks before you get to the black, in counting this one right here. Now you're going to go down to the right with a long 2, and you're going to go down to the right with 3 1s, and because clearly I didn't do enough, you're going to go do a long 2 to connect it all up. So I will hover over this for a moment. And there you go. Now let's finish the machete, and in turn, basically finish the flag, because this is the last part. We're actually going to work from the bottom here. So find this yellow block that we left off at. You're going to go up to this black, go left 2, and you can even fill in the bottom there with yellow. Okay. You're going to go up 3 1s. 1, 2, 3. You're going to do a long 2, and then 2 1s. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to keep it so honest. I keep losing count. We're just going to do this an easier way. So, on top of this black, make sure there's 2 yellows. Make sure there's 3 next to it. Okay. And then on the end of this, make sure there's 2 yellows. Okay. And then 2 yellows, 2 yellows, and then 2 yellows. Just follow along as best as you can. I'll hover over it in a moment. And then 3 yellows. And then 2 yellows. And then 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2. So it should look like this so far. Just copy it the best you can. And now we're going to break the norm here. 2 yellow, 2 yellow. And from here on out, it should just be 2 yellow above each black block. Like this. Alright, and you should equal up right here. And we find out that we did it perfectly. So you can fill in all these gaps with yellow. So just again, make sure, starting from here, every block above the black should be 2, except for here. This is 3. So you should be able to easily find where it's 3 there. But then it's 2 on every block until you get back up to here. and then on almost every end of the actually on every end of these last 3 twos, it should be 3 blocks up. All right, so now that means we're done with the flag. So let me tell you what you're going to do. You're going to break these reference blocks and fix it with a red line. Just do that really quick. You're going to also do the same in the middle here. Underneath this red line, you're going to place a line of light gray. And then finally, you're going to do the same thing here of just replacing. You can even break these up blocks that you did. Just replace the red line. All right, and now here's what you're going to do. You're going to fill in the top of this flag that isn't yellow with red. Well, and you're also going to get rid of the greens that are on the screen. You're going to replace all this with red. The star will be yellow. The gear will be yellow. The machete, every block that's left will be yellow. And the light gray, either don't fill it in with light gray to replace it as black later, if you know how fill commands work. Or you could just place it all in as black and you know, you might run into issues with this because there's still a country down there. So it might be harder to find the border. So, you know, that's why either you don't fill it in or you fill it in with light gray as a placeholder, but especially do the light gray if you know how fill commands work. So, I'll see you in a moment as I fill this all in. So, I forgot to mention it, but you could also fill in that little part up there, because that is also Angola. You remember that from the Republic of the Congo video? Yeah. So, doesn't matter what you do at the bottom of the flag, I did this, but let's get this in shot and sign it out. This is Angola. There we go, it's finally in shot. In the next video, we will be doing a combo of Rwanda, Burundi, and the DRC, now that we have it actually fully outlined now. And that will be one of the 2 annoying countries in Africa. Until then, though, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. See you guys.